everyone, and welcome to Reload. In this series, we will take a look at games from the past, and we will see how they hold up today. What's up? I'm your host, The Purpleizer, and I am that old video game collector. In today's episode, we will be looking at Rad Racer. This is for the Nintendo Entertainment System, and this game was released on October 1st, 1987 here in the US. This game is a racer, one of the first of its kind as far as I've seen on the Nintendo itself, and that is a third-person perspective behind the car racing. You get to choose between a Ferrari and actually I think they're both Ferraris, it's just one is an IndyCar style variant. This game also had a 3D mode, which did require 3D glasses, which is kind of cool. Not too many offered that, and it's basically one of my favorite racers from back in the day. The only other one that's close is the original RC Pro-Am, and I love that race as well. It's cool, it's different, has some really interesting box art on the back. So here's the two cars. Oh, that's not going to focus. There we go. Those two cars, and you got some basic screenshots. Man, it's shiny. I keep my stuff in a plastic casing, helps preserve it, makes it last longer for you. But today we're going to be playing it off of my Retron 5 instead of the original Nintendo. Just makes it easier, gives me the best possible picture at 720p, which is nice for those older classic games. And I will be using a kind of an odd one. I'm going to be using a Sega style controller simply because it's wireless and it's a lot easier to play. And that's from 8-Bit Do or 8-Bit Do, whichever way you would like to pronounce that. And so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to check this out. So without further ado, let's reload. The first thing you're going to notice is that you got to choose a car. There is no start menu, so the 328 Twin Turbo Ferrari or the F1 Machine. We're just going to start off with the 328. F1 Machine we'll go over a little bit later on. So you just start your game up. Using the down arrow, you can choose your music tones to go along with your ride. And here we go. Simple premise, race down the road, watch out for the other racers. One thing that's different about this game is when you hit them, man, does it shoot you over to the side. So the collision is more like a push. You're going to want to use your brake on this one. Just gassing it all the way through the corners doesn't always work out. And you got to keep an eye on your timer, because if you can't make it to the next checkpoint before the timer runs out, you basically run out of gas, and now you're going to sit there and kind of coast. And if you got enough momentum, you can make it past the checkpoint and keep on going. Pushing up on the D-pad gives you kind of like an extra accelerated boost. It's almost like you're controlling the turbo in the car. Of course, it doesn't work like that in real life, but you know, it's fun in games. That light little push was all it took, and off to the side you go. Like, you literally will fly across the screen, so trying to avoid them is key in this game. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to be so lucky. Oh, and I did it, yes. One thing to note is each course has its own different AI vehicles. So the NPC vehicles change with each course. On this course, they kind of resemble the Volkswagen Beetles. On other courses, they look like Corvettes, other Ferrari, and even some Lamborghini on down the way. There are 8 tracks to go through. I have personally never beat the game, but it is a lot of fun. And just like that, I'm all out of gas. Now, I'm sure you probably noticed on the cover that it sports the availability for 3D glasses. So if we put on some red and blue glasses, if you happen to have any from comic books, they'll work. Go ahead and throw those on, and I'm going to change the screen over to 3D mode, and we're going to play it again. Now, I did notice that my capture card is having some interesting fun trying to do this, even though I am getting 60 frames a second. But just bear with it, or you can always just fast forward till I am out of 3D mode. But just wanted to show you what it was like, and if you have the glasses, you can actually get a preview of it before you even play the game. I will say that after playing it even this short bit, it kind of messes with your eyes a little bit, the red and blue, just like you would, if you were doing it for comics or anything like that. It's just prolonged periods of use, it kind of messes with your eyes a little bit. So I would say that if you're really going to play this game, 3D mode is not necessarily something that is like go after the game for the 3D mode. It is cool that it has it, and there's a little bit of that glitching right there. So, it's a cool feature as far as to be able to enjoy the game. If you happen to find the game without the glasses, you will enjoy it just as fine. Oh, and that's gonna do it for me there. Wiping out with that little time left. No hope of coasting. So with that, we'll go ahead and get rid of 3D mode here. So one last thing that I would like to show you is if we go over to the other car. Now, there's no way of backing out. It's pretty much, this is where you're at. If you hit the A button, you're actually going to go back in to select another course, and you don't want to do that. So you need to reset the game, and then now you can choose the other car. So using the F1 machine, the AI or the NPCs in the game, they now all have F1 cars as well. I didn't really notice any changes in handling, collision. It seems to be about the same. So basically you're getting 2 games in one here. If you're really like F1 racing, it kind of gives it that appeal from back in the day. If you like the NPCs to change over and have different cars that you're racing against, then you got the, I'll call it an Outrun style, but it's definitely not the game Outrun. We all know that game's different than this, and they're each good in their own way. And that's gonna do it for me, reckon, right there before I even have a chance to get momentum. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about the game. Alright, so what do I think? I think that this game holds up very well today. It is fun. I do not think the 3D glasses is the best way to go to play the game. It does make it interesting. It is cool that it existed back then, but I don't think it is a must-have in order to play the game. So I think the game holds up well. It looks good. It plays well. Definitely need to use the brake. Don't be shy on that brake. Use it. Those corners are rough, and the AI in the game is it's not intuitive at all, but man, they get in the way. They put them in the worst possible spots. That way you hit it and you fly off the road. So if you like what you see today, make sure you hit that like button, spam the share button, let everybody know what's going on here. Comment down below anything you would have done differently, questions about the game, feel free. And of course, you gotta ring the bell. If you want to see the next time that a show is going to appear, you got to ring that bell so you can find out. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you on the reload.